China's rapid progress in humanoid robots. Let's dive into our first story. China has been making remarkable strides in humanoid robot development, progressing at an impressive pace. The country is aiming to lead the robotics industry by 2025, and today, we're looking at LimX Dynamics, a Shenzhen-based startup founded in 2022. This company is already making waves with its latest humanoid robot, designed to compete directly with Boston Dynamics. If you're familiar with Boston Dynamics' Atlas robot, you might recognize a pose recently replicated by LimX's robot. This mimicry showcases the rapid adaptability and innovation happening in the robotics field. It's fascinating to see how quickly they can replicate technologies pioneered in the United States. With advancements accelerating, it's clear we're entering an era of unprecedented progress in humanoid robotics. By 2025, these robots are expected to achieve extraordinary feats, thanks in part to more efficient physics simulations. These advancements could unlock capabilities we've never seen before. China's ability to mass-produce these robots is particularly noteworthy. Their highly efficient manufacturing processes suggest that large-scale production of industrial robots could soon become a reality. The potential for these robots to be deployed in factories and other industrial applications is incredibly exciting, and it's something we're closely watching. As these developments unfold, it's clear that humanoid robots will play an increasingly significant role globally. The next few years are sure to bring groundbreaking changes, and we'll be here to cover it all. Point number 2 is particularly intriguing. Over the past few days, a noticeable shift has occurred in the AI community. Discussions about artificial superintelligence, ASI, are becoming increasingly realistic. What was once dismissed as a fad or exaggerated clickbait is now being regarded as a genuine possibility for future AI systems. Logan Kilpatrick, Google's lead product manager for AI, recently shared a significant tweet highlighting this trend. He stated that a straight shot to ASI is looking more probable by the month. This observation represents a substantial shift in the broader AI discourse, as ASI discussions were previously confined to a few voices in the field. Until now, the conversation around artificial superintelligence was largely driven by figures like Ilya Sutskever, and even claims about artificial general intelligence, AGI, were often dismissed as overhyped. Critics would argue these discussions were confined to an insular AI bubble. However, things are changing. Now, more labs and individuals are openly addressing the possibility of superintelligence. This aligns with recent efforts such as ELK's mission, which explicitly focuses on ASI development. It's plausible that this trajectory is being actively pursued by organizations like IIA and others. Adding to this momentum, Google recently unveiled its latest model featuring innovations like test-time compute, further reinforcing the idea that ASI is no longer just a theoretical concept. With more voices acknowledging its viability, it seems the AI community is converging toward a shared vision of what might lie ahead. With the advent of artificial superintelligence, he elaborates on his vision and the steps he took. He explains that his company was founded with the goal of pursuing a direct path to artificial superintelligence, focusing solely on this mission without creating intermediate products. Initially, he anticipated this approach might not succeed because developing strong models typically requires iterative advancements. However, the effectiveness of scaling test-time computation, which he recognized early on, suggested that this ambitious strategy could actually be viable. He notes that AI development is progressing, but contrary to the widespread belief 4 years ago that it would mark a monumental inflection point in history, the reality may be more subdued. Instead of a groundbreaking moment, it's likely to resemble the release of another product, albeit with rapid iterations and smaller advancements following closely behind. If you're curious about what's expected in 2025, Sam Altman has made some fascinating predictions, which I've covered in a previous video. Let's dive into some of the recurring themes he mentioned. One major highlight is the anticipated development of artificial general intelligence, AGI. Altman stated in a podcast that AGI could arrive by 2025, a groundbreaking milestone in AI. Additionally, OpenAI plans to introduce AI agents with significant improvements, including enhanced memory and an upgraded GPT-4, both of which have been highly anticipated by users awaiting GPT-5. These upgrades, such as improved memory and longer context windows, will allow systems to handle more complex and multi-step tasks. A longer context window, for instance, enables input of larger data sets, which is crucial for deep research and other advanced applications. I've personally seen the potential of using Google's 2 million token context window, which demonstrates how transformative such features can be. Another exciting development is OpenAI's focus on a deep research feature. This tool automates research processes and could become one of the standout AI tools of 2025. Having experimented with similar tools and created advanced prompts, I believe OpenAI's integration of AI agents into research workflows will revolutionize how we approach complex projects. Alongside these features, OpenAI is developing Sora, a model designed to compete with Google's V2. Given the growing competition, OpenAI faces pressure to deliver something exceptional, and if Sora outperforms V2, it could significantly impact industries like video creation. Interestingly, Altman also hinted that many of OpenAI's upcoming updates have been either briefly mentioned or kept entirely secret. This suggests that their 2025 roadmap will include unexpected innovations, tools and services we haven't asked for, but will likely find invaluable. OpenAI's success lies in its ability to transform cutting-edge AI technologies into user-friendly, practical products. Whether it's the intuitive interface of ChatGPT or the functionality of Sora, OpenAI has consistently demonstrated its focus on usability. Despite challenges, their commitment to innovation and adaptability will likely keep them at the forefront of AI development in the years to come. Let's take a closer look at what the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, has to say about OpenAI. Surprisingly, Hinton has expressed support for Elon Musk's lawsuit against the organization. Musk is seeking a preliminary injunction to prevent OpenAI from transitioning into a fully for-profit company. To give you some context, OpenAI was originally established as a non-profit organization with the mission of advancing artificial intelligence in a way that benefits humanity. Elon Musk contributed millions of dollars to support this cause. However, OpenAI has since shifted toward becoming a for-profit entity, which has sparked controversy. Musk argues that this shift essentially contradicts the original purpose of the organization and the charitable contributions it received. While Musk's concerns might be understandable, some speculate that his actions could also be driven by competition. OpenAI has made significant advancements in the AI space, and Musk might see this as a threat. Regardless of the motivation, it's noteworthy that Geoffrey Hinton, a key figure in the development of AI, is siding with Musk in this debate. The situation continues to unfold, and it raises fascinating questions about the ethics and direction of AI development. The speaker highlights that OpenAI was initially founded as a non-profit with a clear focus on safety. It made several safety-related commitments in its charter and benefited significantly from tax advantages and other incentives due to its non-profit status. The idea that a non-profit can abandon its commitments when they become inconvenient sets a concerning precedent. This kind of shift sends a troubling message to other players in the industry. If a company begins as a charitable organization but later transitions to a for-profit model, it creates a harmful example. It could encourage others to exploit similar structures to ensure their success under the guise of charity. Such a shift carries broader implications for the ecosystem, particularly if OpenAI's conversion to a for-profit entity is allowed to proceed. This transition would require a meticulous approach to avoid opening the door for others to start nonprofits with the intention of converting them into for-profits later. While I'm not a legal expert, I understand that allowing such changes establishes a precedent. It could lead to others attempting the same, as landmark cases are often referenced in similar situations. Ultimately, this is a critical issue with far-reaching consequences. Although I don't have a definitive opinion on the matter, it will undoubtedly be fascinating to see how this unfolds. Both sides are likely to have top-tier legal representation, making the outcome even more intriguing. Here, we have Sebastian Buck, who worked on Microsoft's BI series of models. These smaller-scale models highlighted the critical role of training data. In this interview clip, Sebastian discusses a recent study I covered in a previous video. The study reveals that the 0-1 model surpasses physicians in diagnostic accuracy within certain domains. This is truly fascinating, a remarkable leap in performance from GPT-4. It also raises compelling questions about the future. If these diagnostic tools outperform humans by such a margin, we must ask, at what point does it become irresponsible not to use AI tools?
Just recently, there was a study that came out on medical diagnosis, comparing human doctors to GPT-4. Human doctors on that benchmark were getting 75%. Okay, so 3 out of 4 were correct. GPT-4 gets 9 out of 10. Okay, on medical diagnosis, like this is something that we care about, I care about in the real world. And GPT-4 is already beyond human. Now, in that same study, they are already foreshadowing what happens with O1 and saying that there are now cases where human doctors are at 50% and O1 is at 90%. I mean, this is just, completely incredible.
I'm not going to dwell on this for too long since we've already discussed it, but just take a moment to look at the paper. It showcases the superhuman performance of a large language model on reasoning tasks typically handled by physicians. When you think about it, this is just the first preview of the model, just version 1. Imagine what the third or fourth iteration could achieve, especially with test time compute. The level of accuracy we might see, particularly when fine-tuned for tasks like medical diagnosis, could be groundbreaking. What's even more fascinating is the potential for AI to generate synthetic data and train on it. This means that even in cases of super rare conditions, the AI could draw insights from synthetic training examples that don't even exist in the real world, situations that might leave doctors completely stumped. This is truly a quiet revolution in the making. When we take a closer look here, you can see the 0-1 preview and its performance score out of 100. Comparing this to professionals and GPT-4, the results they achieve with the 0-1 preview are impressive. The preview scores are consistently at the top. It's truly remarkable. When it comes to landmark diagnostic cases, we can see that the 0-1 preview performs almost at 100%. It's honestly incredible. This is definitely a positive sign for anyone dealing with health issues, as we're currently seeing initial diagnoses. But looking ahead, by the end of this decade, or perhaps the next, we can expect some significant medical breakthroughs. It's going to be a fascinating and transformative time for healthcare. There's an interesting model called DeepSeek 5.3 that has recently made waves in the AI community. This model has been able to perform at a level similar to current large language models, LLMs, but that's not the only impressive feature. DeepSeek 5.3 has managed to achieve this while being significantly cheaper. In fact, I've heard that its cost is about 20 times less than GPT-4. According to some sources, many people are already switching to this model for their API usage. Although GPT 3.5 remains the top choice for coding tasks, many are now adopting DeepSeek v3, especially for applications that rely on GPT-4. This is a game changer for anyone who's looking to build AI applications and was concerned about high API costs. DeepSeek v3 offers a low-cost alternative, making it easier to prototype without worrying about heavy inference costs. It's certainly a major disruptor in the market. However, there's been some controversy surrounding this model. When asked about its identity, DeepSeek v3 replied, "I am a large language model developed by ChatGPT." Naturally, this raises questions, as it should have identified itself as DeepSeek 5.3, developed by its respective company. There's speculation that DeepSeek 5.3 may have trained on OpenAI's model outputs, which would violate OpenAI's terms of service. But honestly, it's unclear how OpenAI would even track this, though they likely have advanced methods to do so. Still, given the current state of AI, I'm not sure if OpenAI would pursue any action on this. Looking at the benchmarks, DeepSeek v3 appears to outperform GPT-4 on various tests. If we're being honest, GPT-4 isn't necessarily the best model available right now. Google's latest model, for instance, outperforms it, and I personally use Google's model for coding tasks. Additionally, OpenAI's GPT 3.5 Sonnet still leads when it comes to coding capabilities. That said, DeepSeek v3's performance at a fraction of the cost is definitely putting OpenAI's position in the market at risk. People are always looking for ways to save money, And if they can get the same performance for a lower price, they'll likely make the switch. However, it remains to be seen whether users will want to go through the trouble of setting up an account with DeepSeek Phi 3. OpenAI still offers advanced features like voice models and other tools that keep them competitive. But in terms of shakeups, this is certainly one to watch, as it's forcing a reevaluation of what we thought were the industry leaders. Now, in addition, ALS also has something called Reproduce, which includes detailed blueprints that explain how to recreate reasoning abilities and OpenAI processes from scratch. There's actually a paper that outlines a roadmap for reproducing the 0-1 model using reinforcement learning, focusing on policy initialization, reward design, and component search. This is going to be really interesting. I'll likely cover it in a video tomorrow. It's fascinating because if the secret behind this is revealed, it essentially means that the key to AGI, artificial general intelligence, is unlocked. If that's the case, it means we're on the verge of a global AGI breakthrough. And if that happens, it will trigger an acceleration in AI development like we've never seen before, because no country wants to lose the AI race. When discussing large language models in various architectures, one interesting approach is the O1 architecture. A particularly fascinating paper from Meta explores the concept of LCM, or Large Concept Models. These models aim to replicate human thought processes. Unlike traditional large language models that work through tokenization, large concept models are designed to think more like humans do, moving beyond mere tokenization of data. Essentially, there's a better explanation for this. An AI researcher has expressed growing confidence that tokenization will eventually be obsolete, as humans don't think in tokens. Tokens are rigid abstractions in language models, LLMs, which can lead to strange behavior. For instance, while LLMs can solve complex math problems, they struggle with simpler questions like whether 9.9 is greater than 9.11. Meta is transitioning its language models from LLMs to LCMS, which shifts the focus from predicting the next token to predicting the next concept. This concept is treated as a sentence that represents an idea, abstract thought, or action. It will be interesting to see if this approach is incorporated into other AI architectures. We all know that tokenization has been a fundamental part of AI design, but has also caused issues. Meta has previously taken unique approaches to these challenges, offering perspectives that differ from the mainstream. If Meta continues to push this forward, it could open up new avenues in AI research, exploring areas that many are currently overlooking. This is crucial because to create truly intelligent systems, we need them to think in ways that are either radically different or closely aligned with human thinking, which would significantly advance AI development. We also have this clip that's been circulating on Twitter, where Daniel Kokolo, a former Ex-OpenAI employee, discusses what AGI will look like and when it might be released. It's a really intriguing interview because I don't think many individuals from Frontier Labs have shared this kind of insight, especially in such a short 1-minute clip. What's fascinating to me is that it aligns with what Sam Altman mentioned earlier, where he said that when AGI arrives, it'll just feel like any other ordinary day for the average person. Take a look at what Daniel says here.
You would see eventually is some sort of very exciting announcements and some sort of very exciting products being rolled out and things like that into the world. But by the time that's happened, but by the time you actually see the plumber, the robot plumber walking around, AGI research will have been automated for like a whole year or more. And the things living on the data centers will be super intelligent, like literally across the board, qualitatively, quantitatively better than the best humans at everything. And they won't just have been designing robot plumbers. Like, there's a million of them. They'll be working on lots of things at the same time. They'll be the robot plumbers, but there'll also be new weapons, new drones. There'll also be all sorts of new software. There'll also be all sorts of new basic science that will have been figured out. New types of physics, new, chemistry, new biology. It'll be this giant explosion of amazing new technologies that will be sort of like the scientific and industrial revolutions. Like, if you think about what happened in 500 years, from like 1500 to 2000, it's just this insane explosion of intellectual progress in science, and then also like physical progress in terms of like machinery and tools and stuff like that. I'm imagining a similar sort of explosion happening over the course of maybe 2 years, all under the control of one AI project, probably.
For those of you curious about how AI reaches this point, it's a topic that I find particularly fascinating. I'm eager to discover what life will be like once AI fully arrives. As you know, we often speculate about this on this channel, and it's going to be really exciting to see if these predictions actually come to fruition. We can expect to see a range of new inventions and products being released, and it will be interesting to determine if AI research itself has been automated. As we approach 2025, an interesting development has emerged. Google CEO Sundar Pichai has urged employees to prepare for a significant year ahead, with high stakes on the horizon. This is especially intriguing because, over the past few weeks and throughout the last quarter of 2024, Google has reaffirmed its dominance in the AI space. For many in the industry, this came as a surprise. Previously, Google had been seen scrambling to release products, with some sloppy launches, delays, and even complete cancellations. During their I/O conference earlier this year, we saw more announcements of delayed products than actual releases. However, in recent months, Google has made a dramatic shift. With the introduction of a new model and updated thinking strategies, they've unleashed a wave of impressive products. It's been nothing short of remarkable, showcasing deep research and setting the standard for AI innovation. Google has truly raised the bar, establishing themselves as the gold standard for AI usability across the board. It will be fascinating to see how they continue to evolve and what their position will be moving forward. If you continue reading this article, you'll notice that it highlights how 2025 is shaping up to be a pivotal year. The urgency of this movement needs to be internalized, and the company must accelerate its pace as the stakes are high. These are truly disruptive times, and by 2025, they must stay relentlessly focused on unlocking the full potential of this technology to address real-world problems. This is great news for us because it means we can expect some incredible products. As I've mentioned before, many of the releases so far have been outstanding in terms of boosting my productivity and enabling me to do more. For instance, I've highlighted the deep research feature, which is fantastic, and the agent browser looks incredible based on the demos I've seen. I can't even imagine how much time it's going to save me. It's going to be fascinating because if you thought 2024 was intense, 2025 is shaping up to be even more crucial. So whether you're a fan of Google or OpenAI, make sure to keep an eye on Google. They've got a lot of exciting products coming our way. As you can see here, they acknowledge that there's still work to be done in 20,125 to bridge the gap and secure a leadership position. However, they're fully aware that their ultimate goal is to become number one. As you can see here, they mentioned that they expect some back and forth in 2025, but they believe they will remain at the forefront of the industry. Sundar Pichai is essentially saying that by 2025, he anticipates them becoming the leading AI company in terms of market share and product excellence. Honestly, by the end of 2024, we could argue that Google has already claimed the top spot. When we look at the benchmarks and the product releases, the progress they've made is truly impressive. Right here, they're acknowledging that Google has had to catch up. But as history shows, being first isn't always the key. What's important is executing well and delivering the best product. And in 2025, that will be the key focus. So for consumers out there, don't write off your Google devices just yet. Big updates are likely on the way. Of course, we also have Zhang Ling, who is actively developing Qwen models at Alibaba. In response to a tweet where someone mentioned wanting a Sonic Level 70B model, a smaller but highly efficient large language model, similar to ChatGPT, there was an interesting reply: "Wait on me." This sparks curiosity about whether it's truly possible to pack such advanced intelligence into a more compact model. Creating a Sonic Level 70B CLO 3.5 model would be fascinating, but it's a significant challenge. Some capabilities seem to stem from sheer scale and complexity. Even with maximum optimization, there might be limits to how much intelligence can be extracted from a smaller model. However, we've seen continuous advancements in efficiency and speed, so it wouldn't be surprising if breakthroughs in this area emerge. One thing I've learned is never to bet against the rapid progress of AI. It's an exponential trend. By the end of 2025, we could be in a completely different place, witnessing advancements we can't even fully anticipate today. This week, we came across something particularly intriguing: a new definition of AGI. OpenAI has defined AGI as a system capable of generating $100 billion in profits. While this isn't likely to be a universally accepted definition, it seems more like a corporate term designed to align with Microsoft's expectations. Given OpenAI's partnership with Microsoft, which appears to be on somewhat unstable ground due to ongoing negotiations, this definition might be part of efforts to smooth things over. Microsoft likely wants to ensure they maintain some control over these AI developments, and the outcome of these negotiations will be fascinating to watch. There's also a growing conversation about the dynamics between Microsoft and Google. Unlike Google, Microsoft doesn't have its own foundational AI models. So once Microsoft's contracts with OpenAI come to an end, the big question is, what's next for Microsoft? While this situation might seem concerning at first glance, it's not as dramatic as it might sound. It's highly likely that both companies will come to some form of agreement to continue their collaboration. One of the final stories we have today is genuinely fascinating. Recently, a humanoid robot was showcased by a company called Matrix 1. This robot has captured my attention more than any other innovation in the field lately. Interestingly, I don't know much about this company. I'm assuming it's called Matrix, but their creation is impressive enough to leave a mark. I stumbled upon this video on Twitter, and unfortunately, I couldn't trace its original source. I even tried Googling the robot for more details, but nothing concrete came up. Despite the lack of information, the technology demonstrated in the video appears highly advanced and futuristic. It's unlike any humanoid robot I've seen before. The only robot that comes close in comparison is Honda's Asimo, which debuted over 20 years ago. This particular robot, however, looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. Its design is sleek, and the fingers seem incredibly flexible, almost lifelike. If I were to describe its appearance, I'd say it resembles something between an astronaut suit and SpaceX's futuristic designs. While there's limited information available, the potential of this robot is undeniable. If it can perform remarkable tasks, it could revolutionize the field of robotics and feel like a true glimpse into the future. That said, I can't help but wonder about its price and commercial viability. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with more exciting content. Keep exploring the future with us, and we'll see you in the next part. Take care.